Hey everyone, this is Colin from Colin's Pizza, and welcome back to another discussion with you about Dragon Ball Super Broly. So the topic about this video is if the Dragon Ball series is going to go into more movies or into continuing the TV show. So first off, we're going to talk about what if they just do more movies. So if they just do more movies, they're just going to keep making sequels and sequels, and if they did that, I think they would make one movie a year. So they can spend time that year working on the animation and the art style to make it look really good for that year. Because if they did a movie like every few months, it wouldn't be that good. So I think giving them a year each time is enough space to make it seem like Dragon Ball is not going anywhere, and it'll also give enough time to make good animation and good art style and good quality. However, if they keep just doing movies, I feel like they would be hindered in the movie, not in the movie specifically, because when you're making a movie, you only have a certain amount of time to get the whole plot and story in there. And with Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball is a lot of fighting, but there's also a good amount of plot. So just doing movies does not give it enough time in one movie for a good amount of plot and a good amount of fighting, or a good amount of like story, just talking and fighting. In Dragon Ball Super Broly, the movie, I feel like, to me personally, I think they did a good ratio of story to fight. Spoilers, by the way. So the first major half of the movie is just backstory on Broly and Goku and Vegeta, all that. And the second half is just all fighting. I feel like that was perfectly fine. In past canon Dragon Ball Z movies, Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, I feel like Akira Toriyama was just trying to find a good ratio in there. In Battle of Gods, most of it is just plot and just story, and like the last 10 to 15 minutes is fight. Resurrection F, I feel like that one also is really good, putting in fights and story in between each other. So that one integrates it pretty well. Broly, it's just half and half, and I feel like that was fine for what they did. It was just introducing new characters like Broly, Chile, and Lemo. So what they did with Dragon Ball Super Broly, how it was just half and half, I think was perfectly fine. But I don't think they could recreate that in future sequels, and if they did more than one sequel. I feel like they would have to probably do like a two-parter sort of thing, like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, or like how The Hobbit is in 3 parts, or no, like Harry Potter, Book 7 is split up into Deathly Hallows Part 1, Deathly Hallows Part 2. I'd feel like if Dragon Ball was just movies from now on, they'd have to do ones that continue off each other, not just one-off stories. Because I feel like 2 hours, not even 2 hours, is not enough time to just do a one-off story. So they would need a lot more time, and so they would need a lot more movies. Okay, now that I've talked about movies, now let's talk about what if they made more TV show. So if they continued the TV show, I would feel like they could either just not remake, but like retitle the show like Dragon Ball something, or they could continue Dragon Ball Super. However, I feel like at the end of Super, they sort of did a nice little closing thing to end the show. Or it could be the end, ending the season. It could be like that. But I feel like they totally could just remake, not redo. I feel like they could just do a new show if they wanted to. But they could also continue Super. So if they were continuing the TV show, I feel like they should get more hands-on with how each person's going to animate each episode. Because near the end of Super, they had really good animation. They did a lot of great work. However, there were a few episodes that were just not good animation-wise, and there were some throughout the entire series that were like that. But I feel like if they wanted to do their best work, I feel like they would get together, work out what's going to happen in each episode. Everyone knows it, animate it, so the story is consistent, the animation's consistent, and everything looks really better than what it used to be. Even though it's not movie quality, it's still pretty good TV quality, and I feel like the fans of the show would be a lot happier about that. Another thing with if they did a TV show, they're not limited to just 2 hours of runtime for a story. They can take their sweet time on what they want to do. I personally think that they will go the TV show route, even though I think movies are great. I've loved watching Dragon Ball Super Broly in theaters. I've seen it 5 times. It is so good in theaters. However, I don't think for what Dragon Ball is, I don't think it could be just movies. So overall, I feel like if they went the TV show route, that would be best for Dragon Ball. If they went the movie route, that would be enjoyable. I feel like the stories of the movies, the plot of the movies would be a lot less actiony or less story-wise. They can't do much with an hour and 40 minutes. However, they did good stuff with Dragon Ball Super Broly. I would love to hear what you guys think down below in the comments, so post down below what would be better, more movies or more of a TV show. I would love to read them, love to hear your opinions, and come back next time as I talk about something else from Dragon Ball Super Broly. Thanks again for watching, have a nice day, and don't forget to grab a slice of Collin's Pizza. Goodbye!